much for agreeing for the interview.
Absolutely. Thanks for making the trip. We're excited to have you on the floor today.
Yeah, so please tell us your name and your job title first.
Sure. My name's Rob Hocking. I'm Global Head of Product Innovation for Cboe Global Markets.
Okay. And can you briefly explain your key responsibilities and your previous experience?
Sure, absolutely. So currently I run our innovation lab called Cboe Labs, and so my main responsibility is to not only design new derivative products, but to also make the existing ones better. So we spend all day trying to innovate, trying to create new ways for people to trade, new risks for them to trade, new access points to our market, so that everybody has access to the risk and the tools they need to manage their portfolio. Oh, and sorry, previous experience.
Oh, yeah.
You said that. So I came to Cboe about 5 years ago. Previous to Cboe, I was actually a derivatives trader. So I spent a chunk of my time in the market as one of the gentlemen you see behind you, trading on the floor. I wore a funny jacket, waved my hands around, and basically managed risk through trading. I worked for a large prop firm here in Chicago called DRW, and before that I was an index volatility trader for Goldman Sachs.
And then can you share your experiences working as a trader and why you chose to become a trader?
Yeah, sure. Trading for me, it was a job I took directly out of college, out of university, and it was something, I'm a very competitive person, and I enjoyed the competitive aspect of trading. I enjoyed coming down on the floor. I enjoyed kind of analyzing new data sets, looking for ways to, I guess, put on positions, take off positions that would benefit my portfolio. And between the competitive nature and I guess the second piece I would add is kind of the real-time feedback. In many jobs, I think it takes time. Either it's a review process or you have to wait some period of time before you know if you're doing a good job or if you're doing a bad job. In the world of trading, you kind of know instantly. When you make that trade, you have feedback directly on was it a good trade, was it a bad trade, and then you have to manage that position. And just the excitement around that is what really drew me to trading.
Very good. And what kind of personality do you think is well suited for a trader?
That's a great question. I think when I give either young students I talk to or people new to the industry, I think one of the biggest qualities that I always tell them is the ability to not get emotional about your trading. So the idea that when you add emotion to trading, sometimes you hang on to your losers longer, you take your winners off too soon. And so the idea of coming at the market and using statistics, use data-backed testing to apply a theory and then execute on that theory. So know before you even make the trade, know when you want to get in, what price you want to get in, know what price you want to get out, and then stick to those prices. Don't let the heat of the moment, don't let the excitement of the trade turn you into making a different decision.
And on the same boat, in your opinion, what are some attributes that would make a trader successful?
I think really it's knowledge. So you got to have a hunger. You got to really want to understand why the markets are moving the way they are, so that you can better anticipate those moves, you can better position around for those moves. And so I think good attributes are just a healthy excitement around the markets, a healthy, curiosity around lies ahead, what products will move, what different factors are influencing the market, whether it's an election, whether it's inflation, whether it's a global economic crisis or anything. You look at whether it's how the Ukraine war affects the market, how the U.S. election is going to affect the market. All of those different events take place, and having a healthy interest in why things move the way they do, I think that level of curiosity is what tends to make good traders.
Okay, very nice. And what does your typical day at work look like?
So for us, we spend a lot of time, and no pun intended, we spend a lot of time in the lab. And it's a lot of research, it's back testing, it's looking at an existing product set and then trying to better understand what products we can add that will help individuals better manage risk. And so a lot of time is spent in the lab, a lot of time is spent looking for new ways to trade risk, and then a lot of time is spent out in the field having discussions with customers, having discussions with new traders, having discussions with pretty much any market participant that can give us feedback on, man, I'd rather trade risk this way, or it would be really nice if we had a product that helped manage this particular risk, or maybe I need a different access point to a particular product. And then we go back into the lab and we figure out ways to solve for those basically needs. And that's what makes up the majority of the day. We're really excited. We just launched a new product on Monday called Variance Futures. And with that new product, we were solving an access point. This was a strategy that many investors used in what we call the over-the-counter market. And with that, we provided a new access point for a bunch of traders that were trading over the counter. We were able to provide them a listed product and bring them into the exchange to provide more transparency, better access, more access to liquidity. And so that's just one example of something where, we took feedback from the market, we created something in the lab, and then we were able to launch it and hopefully solve for a customer need.
It's kind of focused our further questions.
Yeah.
It's going to be about the new product.
That's fine. We got more.
All right.
We have more. Plenty to talk about.
And then, could you share with us some of your memorable work-related episodes?
I think in my existing role, it's been fun. Like I said, I've been here 5 years. Some of the memories along the way, as I would say, one was, as I just talked about, on Monday, launching new product is always a big day in labs, and not only for labs, but for Cboe. Some of the other ones, I think, if I look back to my trading career, it was trading through major market events. Think September 11th, think the US election, think Brexit when that took place. If I think the financial crisis back in 2008, all of those different environments brought different risks that you had to manage around, and each one brought its own excitement, its own risk, its own good, bad, and I think that's what kept trading very interesting to me, is the constant change from day to day.
And what made you join Cboe?
The ability to build products. I love to build things, and so I think when I had the opportunity to join Cboe, I could take a long-standing, call it 20 years of experience in the market, and take that experience and start to build new products. And for like I said, much of my career, I spent it intertwined with Cboe, whether it was in the pit here providing liquidity, whether it was upstairs making a living trading Cboe's products. Having the ability to now work for Cboe, take the products that I used to make a living with and either help make them better or build new products that augment those and kind of expand the product suite was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
Oh, okay, very interesting. And for people who aspire to become a trader, what advice would you give them?
Advice, that's a great question. I think it's really, like I said, that healthy interest for why things happen. And so the understanding of looking at different market events, seeing how the markets react to those events, and just that healthy curiosity of why things are taking place the way they are is the start. You have to have that curiosity. And then from there, it's just learning more and more and more. Use more experienced people around you to get the experience you need. Talk to as many people as you can. Become what I always say, become a sponge for information. The more you can get, the better. And I think that served me well, and that's usually the advice I give to people that ask.
And can you tell us more about your new products that you're launching and how that would appeal to the investors?
Sure. Well, yeah, I think we've really actively tried to reduce any access barrier we have to our entire product set. So obviously, you're looking at SPX behind you. It's one of our biggest products. It's obviously our options on the S&P 500. It's one of the most liquid, I would say, options products in the world. A fun fact that I always like to say is we trade approximately, call it 3 million option contracts every single day. So that means 3 million options contracts have to come through this pit every single day. That equates to about $1.5 trillion in risk, notional risk that comes through this pit. And so having that foundation for product is wonderful because we can build off that. And as you talked about, the new products, so we just launched variance futures. That's a new product. That's what that product allows investors to do is kind of trade the difference between implied volatility and realized volatility. So things like our VIX complex, that trades the future expectation of what volatility or where volatility will be. The variance futures are trading the difference between where we think volatility is going to be and then what actually happens. So it's looking at the realized volatility of the market, which just gives our investor base kind of a new risk profile to be able to trade in their portfolio. Another new product that we have coming to market is VIX options on futures. So we have our VIX futures complex, we have VIX options, and now we're adding VIX options that settle into futures. I know it's a little confusing, but each one has a different risk profile, and what this new product will allow for is shorter dated option trading in VIX. It's been well documented that the average investor has been getting shorter and shorter and shorter in the amount of time they hold their options position. We're now trading almost 50% of our volume in options that expire the day you trade them. And so that shorter and shorter time horizon has been basically, investors have been looking for access points into other products where we can shorten the time horizon. So this new VIX options on futures product will allow us to offer shorter dated options to investors so that we can capitalize on the shorter dated option kind of momentum that's been in the market.
And last but not least, would you be able to collaborate about your products, SPXW options, and more details that happens in trading firms?
Sure, yeah, like I mentioned, we're in the SPX pit. It's pretty exciting today. There's a little bit of action going on. And so SPXW is just our weekly SPX options product. So it's the S&P 500 options, and we list them in weekly increments. And so over time, options started out many years ago where you would have basically the third Friday of every month would be when your optionality expires. Over time, we've expanded that to now have options that expire every single day of the week. And so our VIX weekly options product, SPXW, is the ones that trade. We list, I believe, out to 5 weeks in advance. So think this week, next week, the following week, out through 5 weeks. And then we have options that settle every single day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This creates a matrix of different options that allow investors to pick and choose whatever option they want to trade, whichever option benefits their portfolio, with extreme granularity. So they can, if they need the Friday option 2 weeks from now, they can trade it. If they need the Wednesday next week, they can trade it. And we've been able to offer that granularity to the market, and it's been received really well.
That's actually it for the interview. Thank you so much again for agreeing to this interview. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Thanks for making the long journey, and we're excited that we were able to do this.